All right, thank you guys. Welcome to Brock Page Productions. I'm your host, Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you really end up enjoying this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and obliterate that like button. And if you haven't already joined the Brock Page delegation, please feel free to do that right now by tapping that subscribe button below. Now, guys, we got ourselves a nice slate of college basketball action here today, and we're going to start off with a really good game of interest. For some reason, not on our big screen behind us, but anyway, it is going to be Clemson taking on Virginia Tech. That's going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern start time. Now, the Virginia Tech Hokies are -2 with the total at 128.5. We're hitting at 64% in our last 12 NFL tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We also won 2 out of our last 3 college football tier package picks on that site as well. We currently have over 775 members signed up and active on that page. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, Virginia Tech has failed to cover the point spread in their last 2 straight failures to cover against Penn State and VMI. And as a matter of fact, that Penn State game resulted in a 20-point loss to the Nittany Lions. Virginia Tech scored just 55 total points in that contest. Now, the Hokies have also failed to cover the number in 3 out of their last 5 ball games as well. They're taking on a Clemson squad who's undefeated in 5 contests themselves. The Tigers are also a perfect 5-0 against the spread in those victories. Now, Clemson is allowing just 51 points per contest, and they're holding their opponents to just 34% shooting from the field. Amir Sims is scoring a dozen a game along with 4 rebounds and a couple assists. Junior guard Nick Honor is also scoring 10 a night along with a couple assists himself. Clemson has beaten the likes of Alabama, Maryland, Purdue, and Mississippi State this season. So certainly a good strength of schedule here early in the year. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, the Tigers' last 3 straight all stayed under the posted total. 4-1 to the under for the entire season thus far. Meanwhile, Virginia Tech on the other side saw their last 2 straight stay under the line themselves. We're going to start off today's video with an underdog. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Clemson Tigers +2 and the under 128.5 in that ball game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for college basketball here on Tuesday. Hopefully you guys had a great start to your week. Now, before we go ahead and dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, just got to quickly remind you once again that we are currently hitting at 64% in our last 12 NFL tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We also won 2 out of our last 3 college football tier package picks on that site as well. Now, you might be wondering, why would you sign up for picks on Patreon and pay for them, where you can get them right here for free on YouTube? And that's certainly a great thought, a great consideration. If I was in your position right now watching me on YouTube, I'd probably be thinking the same thing. But just hear me out real quick, because if you were to go out there and bet every single game that's on the board side in total, like I do with my breakdowns here on YouTube, it's certainly not a winning formula for success. And as a matter of fact, it's a recipe for disaster. It's really just not a good idea to bet every single game on the board, or at least every single game that I give you here on YouTube, because the books are way too smart. They're way too sharp with the numbers. The odds become massively more against you the more and more games you play like that. And to be honest with you, the bookies just have so much more money than you and I do combined to be able to absorb that type of action. So what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you. I break it down and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way versus wagering on every single matchup that's on the card side in total. Now, guys, real quick, we currently have over 775 members signed up and active on that site. So it's a really popular website, a lot of people involved with it. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. There's also a couple links in the comments section below as well. And once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. And guys, one final thing, really important. If you end up really enjoying this video, please do me a favor and just give it a thumbs up. That would once again mean so much to me if you go ahead and smash that like button. And if you haven't done so already, if you haven't already become a member of the Brock Page delegation, please feel free to do so right now by hitting that subscribe button below. All right, and with that said, guys, we're going to dive into some more free content right here on YouTube. In our next matchup, we're going to take a look at another game that is not on our big screen behind me, but certainly a game of interest. I'm talking about Hofstra versus Monmouth, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off. The Hofstra Pride is -1.5 with the total at 147.5. Now, Hofstra's failed to cover the number in their last two straight. Failures to cover against the likes of Stony Brook and Iona. Now, the Pride's also failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4, and that includes a 14-point loss to Rutgers during that stretch as well. Hofstra scoring just 68 points a game and shooting just 38% from the field. Hofstra is also making just 25% of their three-pointers. Now, Monmouth on the other side, they're playing their first contest of the season, but they do have a solid core of players returning to the lineup. Now, total-wise, Hofstra's gone 3-1 to the under in their 4 contests on the season. So I think Monmouth is going to kind of come out here and start this season off with a bang. So I'm going to lean toward yet another underdog. Give me the underdog, Monmouth Hawks, +1.5, and the under, 147.5 in that ball game. All right, next contest. It is on our big screen. Excuse me, and it is going to be Minnesota versus Illinois. 7 p.m. Eastern start time at the State Farm Center. Illinois -8, totals 147. Illinois is coming fresh off a 3-point loss to Missouri. They gave up 81 total points in that contest. Now, the Fighting Illini has also lost 2 out of their last 3, and that includes a 13-point loss to Baylor during that stretch as well. They gave up 82 points to the Bears in that contest. Now, Illinois is just 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 outings. They're taking on an undefeated Minnesota squad who's beating their opponents by an average of over 15 points per victory. The Gophers are scoring over 84 points a night and shooting 45% from the field. Now, Marcus Carr is scoring 24 points a game along with 4 rebounds and 6 assists. Both Gotch is also scoring over 15 points a game along with 6 boards and 4 assists himself. Gotch has also hit 22 of 25 from the free throw line. And of course, we cannot forget about the big man. I'm talking about 7-foot center Liam Robbins, who's scoring 13 a game along with 8 rebounds and 2 blocks. Robbins has recorded 14 total blocks on the season along with 46 rebounds. Now, total-wise, Minnesota's last 2 straight both got over the posted number. The Golden Gophers on the other side, Minnesota's last 2 straight both got over the posted number. The Golden Gophers are also 4-2 to the over in their last 6. Meanwhile, Illinois on the other side saw their last 4 straight get over the posted number themselves. They're officially 5-1 to the over on the season as well. We're going to lean toward yet another underdog, guys. Give me the underdog Minnesota Golden Gophers +8, keeping this one close, and the over 147 in that contest. All right, next matchup I have for you. It is going to be Wichita State versus Tulsa, 7 p.m. Eastern tip. The Tulsa Golden Hurricanes -1 with the total at 133.5. Tulsa is coming fresh off a 15-point victory over Texas Arlington, held them to just 64 total points in that contest. Now, Tulsa is shooting over 47% from the field, and they're also holding their opponents to just 67 points per contest. Brandon Rachel is scoring over 17 points a night along with 4 rebounds and a block. The 6'6 senior is also shooting nearly 60% from the field. Senior guard Elijah Joyner is also scoring a dozen a game along with 7 boards and 3 assists himself. And sophomore guard Keyshawn Emery Simpson is also scoring 11 a game himself. Now they're taking on a Wichita State program who's shooting just 36% from the field and just 28% from beyond the arc. The Shockers are also 0-3 against the spread in their last 3 ball games. Now, total-wise, the Shockers' season opener with Oral Roberts got 17 points above the posted number for that contest. Meanwhile, 2 out of Tulsa's last 3 got over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Tulsa Golden Hurricane -1 in the over, 133.5. All right, next contest, it is going to be Loyola Chicago versus Wisconsin. 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off at the Kohl Center. The Wisconsin Badgers are -9 with the total at 127.5. Now, if you like Wisconsin in this matchup here, guys, just keep in mind Wisconsin's failed to cover the point spread in 3 out of their last 5. And that includes an outright loss to Marquette during that stretch. They were held to just 65 total points in that defeat. Now, they're taking on a Loyola Chicago team who's 3-0 straight up on the season themselves, 2-0 against the number in their last couple of games. The Ramblers of Loyola Chicago were scoring over 80 points a game and shooting 55% from the field. Now, center Cameron Krutwig is scoring over 17 points a game along with 5 rebounds and a couple of blocks. Tate Hall is also scoring 11 a night along with 3 rebounds and a couple assists. Hall's also shooting 46% from downtown. Loyola is giving up just 55 points per contest, and they're holding their opponents to just 37% from the field. Now, total-wise, when it comes to the number in this one, Loyola's last 2 straight both got over the number. Meanwhile, Wisconsin's gone 60% to the over through 5 ball games themselves. I'm going to lean toward yet another underdog in this one, keeping it close. Give me the underdog Loyola Chicago Ramblers +9 in the over, 127.5 in that contest. All right, next matchup, not on our big screen behind me, but once again, another game of interest in the ACC. I'm talking about Georgia Tech versus Florida State, 8:30 p.m. Eastern start time in Tallahassee. The Noles are the 8-point favorite at home, totals 137. Florida State is 3-0 straight up on this season. Victories over Florida, Indiana, and North Florida. The Noles are scoring nearly 80 points a game and holding their opponents to just 39% from the field. MJ Walker scoring 18 points a game along with a couple of rebounds, couple assists. MJ's also made 23 of 24 from the foul line. Scotty Barnes is also scoring 11 points a night along with 4 boards and 5 assists. Barnes has also recorded 5 steals on the defensive end as well. And of course, 7'1" Balsa Koprivica is scoring 10 points a night along with 5 rebounds. The Noles are holding their opponents to just 65 points per contest. Now, they're taking on a Georgia Tech squad who lost 2 out of their last 4 ball games. They lost to Mercer and Georgia State. They actually gave up 123 points to the Panthers through 4 overtimes. Now, the Yellow Jackets are allowing their opponents to shoot nearly 45% from the field and also nearly 40% from beyond the arc. Georgia Tech has also dropped 8 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Florida State. Now, they failed to cover the number in 70% of those head-to-head meetings as well. And when it comes to the total in this one, 2 out of Georgia Tech's last 4 ball games did get over the posted number. Meanwhile, 2 out of Florida State's last 4 contests got over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Florida State Seminoles -8 in the over 137. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Kansas State versus Iowa State, 9 p.m. Eastern start time. The Iowa State Cyclones are -8 with a total at 136.5. The Cyclones are coming off a 28-point beatdown to Iowa in their most recent outing. They gave up 105 points to the Hawkeyes in that one. Iowa State's also on a 2-game losing streak, including a 3-point loss to South Dakota State. Scored just 68 total points in that ball game. Now, the Cyclones are allowing their opponents to shoot nearly 49% from the field, and they're giving up 80 points per contest on average. They're taking on a Kansas State team who's coming fresh off a 76-75 victory over Milwaukee. The Wildcats have also won 2 out of their last 4, including a victory over Kansas City. Held them to just 58 total points in that contest. The Wildcats are led by Mike McGurl, who's scoring 15 points a game along with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. McGurl's also recorded 8 steals on the defensive end. Nigel Pack is also scoring over 10 a night along with 4 boards and 4 assists himself. And when it comes to the total in this one, Kansas State's most recent outing with Milwaukee got 20 points above the posted number for that ball game. Meanwhile, on the other side, Iowa State's most recent outing with Iowa got 24 points above the posted total for that contest themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Kansas State Wildcats +8 in the over 136.5 in that game. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are hitting at 64% in our last 12 NFL tier package picks. I like Clemson +2 under 128.5. I'm also leaning toward the Monmouth Hawks +1.5 in the under 147 and a hook in that game. I like Minnesota +8 over 147. I'm also leaning toward Tulsa -1 over 30. Let's try that again. Tulsa -1 over 133.5. I like Loyola Chicago +9 over 127 and a hook. I'm also leaning toward Florida State -8 over 137. And last but certainly not least, please give this video a thumbs up right now if you enjoyed it by smashing the like button. And please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I like the Kansas State Wildcats +8 in the over 136.5 in that ball game. With that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs. And from our YouTube platform, shout out to Scott Kaler, RecShop51, Vernon Williard, BK Spaz, Bo Dunn, Daniil Nazar, Bonafide One, Armando Garcia, Calico Jones, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Bernard Coleman. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind, we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. Most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.